have our larynx, our trachea, and what you see on the bottom of this model is the bronchial tree. In fact, if I turn this guy upside down, oh yeah, definitely have a tree here, the bronchial tree. So if we write it upside again, we go top to bottom on this, superior to inferior. We start at the region of the larynx. Your larynx is essentially your voice box. We have the hyoid bone at the top. We have thyroid cartilage, from the term thyroides, meaning shield-shaped. Sort of has a shield shape to it, and it is shielding your voice box, which is inside of here. And we have the cricoid cartilage. You can see this one here. Cricoid comes from the Greek translation of ring-shaped, because this is the cartilage that makes a complete ring all the way around the structure. Cricoid cartilage. Contrast that with the tracheal cartilages that you see going down the trachea. These go about 3/4 of the way around. You'll notice this is soft tissue on the posterior side, but picks up here. This would be the right side. It was all the way around anterior to the left side, but again, you'll notice it does not completely encircle the trachea itself. I'll explain why in a moment. But inferior to that, we come down to the point where it splits. It's called the carina. And what it splits into, again, because this is an anterior view, it splits into the right and left sides. So you can imagine your right lung here. You can imagine the left lung here. And what we have here is the left primary bronchus. It splits into a left secondary bronchus. Here's another left secondary bronchus. And the left tertiary bronchi. Here's a tertiary bronchus, here's a tertiary bronchus, another. It's all color-coded here. So left side, primary, secondary, another secondary, and then tertiary. You can even imagine this branching extensively, which is why we call it the bronchial tree, branching extensively into the lungs. If we look at this side of the carina, we're going into the right lung here, and this obviously takes a steeper angle, but this would be the right primary bronchus, the right secondary bronchus, and here is a right tertiary bronchus. Here's another right tertiary bronchus. So right primary, here's another right secondary, and then again, as you can see, tertiary bronchi. Again, the branching is even more extensive than what you're seeing here. Now, if we look at this a little bit more closely from the top, again, you'll see the hyoid bone. You'll see the thyroid cartilage. So if this is the hyoid bone and this is thyroid cartilage, that makes this the thyrohyoid ligament. Pretty easy to remember. Thyrohyoid ligament. That's the ligament that holds these two structures together. Our laryngeal prominence, that's your Adam's apple. You've heard of your Adam's apple before, not your hyoid bone. It's this part that sticks out right here, laryngeal prominence. And then, of course, the cricoid cartilage. Again, ring-shaped all the way around. Now, if we look at the posterior side here, there's another structure you'll see. This is the epiglottis. The epiglottis is the structure that folds over during the swallowing reflex. So why does that happen? Well, when this folds over during the swallowing reflex, we are protecting our trachea. We're protecting our windpipe and from anything going down there, food, saliva, liquid, okay? And what happens is it basically directs food, saliva, liquid, whatever we're swallowing, to go down a tube that is sitting just posterior to this, right where the soft tissue would be, right where my finger is running right through here. You know what that is? That's your esophagus. That's what's leading down into your stomach. So this actually helps direct food down into your esophagus. If it doesn't go down there, your esophagus, and it goes down here, that's what happens when somebody chokes. Now, if we look at this on the right-hand side here, they do not show it on the left, but on the right-hand side, we have the right lobe of the thyroid gland. Right lobe of the thyroid gland. And this, of course, is tissue not part of the respiratory system. This is actually part of our endocrine system. So this is endocrine tissue here. If I open this up, so what we have here, again, a mirror image of each other. Here it is together. Here it is open. You can see more of a sectional view. So this is sort of a mid-sagittal view here. And you can see that hyoid bone sectioned off. You can see the epiglottis, that's cartilage under there. And what you'll see, if you look very closely at this thin white line right there, in fact, again, you'll see it on this side as well because this is paired. This is your vocal ligament. Your vocal ligament, or sometimes you've heard it as the vocal cords. That's what this is right here. And underneath that pinkish structure you see here, that is the vocal muscle. So vocal cords, vocal muscle, and then of course at this point we're going down the trachea. If we put this back in place, again, regions of the larynx, or your voice box, region of the trachea, or your windpipe, and of course, what you see down here is the bronchial tree. This would be an anterior view. If I spin it around without dropping it, this is a posterior view.